The New York Rangers have made multiple moves, and what Chris Drury has done here may have serious implications moving forward. And we also have a former New York Ranger speaking out on his time with the Rangers and why he's unhappy with the organization. We're going to break all of that down in this episode of Rangers Digest. But before we do, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 70% of you who watch our videos are not actually subscribed to the channel. So if you want to do yourself a favor, it's free. Hit that subscribe button and you get to stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. And we're going to get to Barclay Goodrow later in the video, but I want to start with some major moves that the New York Rangers have made. And some Rangers fans are very upset with some of these moves, but we're going to get into them. And of course, they sent down Victor Mancini, and in doing so, they called up Chad Ruhwedel from the Hartford Wolfpack. And a lot of people saw this, and a lot of people are upset because people really like, and when I say people, I mean Rangers fans really like what Victor Mancini has brought to the table so far this season. And honestly, he has been a revelation. He has been pretty brilliant, but at the same time, he is still a young player. And we know Peter Laviolette. He has a history in the league, and it's not that he doesn't like younger players. If younger players have use, then he will use them. But this, the fact of the matter is, this is a guy who wasn't getting into the lineup. And whether you like it or not as a fan, I think personally, I like Victor Mancini playing more than not playing. I think he should be playing no matter if it's in the AHL or the NHL. And the fact that he has been in the press box, he has been healthy scratch, not that it's his fault or that, that it's his play that's earned him a spot in the press box. I'm not saying that at all because that is not true. But the fact that he's not playing, he should be playing. It's kind of like a Matt Rempe situation, and Matt Rempe is a whole different story for another video. But Victor Mancini, I'd rather him be playing with Hartford in the AHL, getting in reps, getting in games, instead of sitting in the press box with the New York Rangers. And Chad Ruhwedel, he's an older player. If he comes up and he sits in the press box, I have no problem with that personally. They want to carry an extra guy, that's fine. And we're going to take a look at the lines in a second as well. But I think I'd rather Mancini play than not play. I think most Rangers fans share that sentiment. And this article was actually a pretty good read from Molly Walker as well. Victor Mancini trying to find the positives. This was a little while ago while he was in the midst of getting scratched a lot. And he was trying to find the positives in his early season scratches. And he had a really, really good quote, actually, that I think Rangers fans are going to love. And he said, It's been somewhat internal of taking things day by day, making sure when I'm on the ice trying to be as locked in as I can be in practice. When I get extra time on the ice with the coaches by myself, just making sure I'm trying to do the right things and working on my game, working on skills. On top of that, just being a good teammate, being supportive. I think our team, we've hit some ups and downs, but I think we're just a really powerful team. When we're clicking, things are heading in the right direction. Just being supportive of that, being supportive of the guys in practice and off the ice has been what I've been trying to do. And I think, to sum it up, this is a guy who wants to be a good teammate. This is a guy who wants to make sure that he pays attention to detail, the little details on the ice. He's doing everything correctly, and he's taking time aside to work with not only, the coaching staff, but the skills coaches and all that. He's, soaking up everything that he can while he was with the Rangers. And I think that's a good thing. I think he's going to go down to Hartford, and this is not the last we've seen of him even this season. He was really, really good to start the season. And it's sad to see him be sent down, but I don't think this is the last we're going to see of him even in the very near future. But I'd rather him get into games than be sitting in the press box, because him sitting in the press box, even though he's up with the team making an NHL salary and he's around the guys all the time, and that's good experience in itself, being able to practice with them and whatnot, he should be getting into games. He should be getting experience in those games, especially pro games. So he's been great, but I think obviously a little bit of work to do in his game as well, but he is going to do that. And I love his attitude. I think he's really taking it one step at a time, and I love it. And this article as well, this is something I think that plays into why Mancini was sent down. That the Rangers D pairings, they've been trying to figure something out because the pairings have not been good. Obviously, K'Andre Miller and Jacob Trouba have not been good, and Peter Laviolette said that the pairing of Jones and Snyder should actually get more minutes. They've actually been playing very well. If you look at the advanced analytics, they've actually maybe been the Rangers' best defensive pairing, or most sustainable, most solid so far since they've changed them up at least, and giving them the best minutes. So they're probably warranting more minutes. And obviously Jones has been good. There was a lot of question marks to start the season, but we know that this is a good player and that he was going to figure it out. So he has a little bit more experience than Mancini as well. So he is going to stay up with the club, and I think that's a good thing for the New York Rangers. And they have been a good pairing, those two. A young pairing, but a really good pairing. They've been quite good in sheltered minutes as well. So we'll see what happens if they get that minutes bump from Peter Laviolette. I love that he said that. So Peter Laviolette says that Zach Jones and Braden Schneider are warranting more ice time. And will they get it tonight when they host the San Jose Sharks? Not a great team the San Jose Sharks are. And, you know, if you look at the lineup before we get into a former New York Ranger who is now a San Jose Shark, if you look at the lineup, this is pretty good. I think this is what they have to run. A lot of Rangers fans are asking for Ryan Lindgren to be scratched. I just don't see that happening with the amount of money he's making. He's got to figure it out. A lot of these guys have got to figure it out. Miller's got to figure it out. Trouba's got to play a little bit better, I think. Adam Fox, like, we know what he's about. He's an elite defenseman in this league. His hockey IQ, all of that, the offensive game. But, you know, they just got to figure it out together. They got to help each other as a team because there's a lot of things faltering right now. But, yeah, I do think Zach Jones and Braden Schneider could handle a few more minutes because right now in a sheltered role, they are playing very well. So to move along to tonight, they are playing the San Jose Sharks. And obviously former Ranger Barclay Goodrow is making his return to Madison Square Garden. And he was on the record saying, I didn't like how things were handled last summer when, you know, we know the whole situation dating back to last summer and how things ended and how he didn't want to move. And obviously, they basically forced him to leave in a way, right? Obviously, using any means necessary, I guess. And I was, you know, on record at the time saying, I like how cutthroat that Chris Drury was in that moment because he had to make salary cap space. So I did like stuff like that. Good teams do stuff like that. The Florida Panthers do that. We saw it a couple of years with the Vegas Golden Knights. These teams that win make very hard decisions like that no matter what. They put the betterment of the team ahead of them. So I will say that. But from his point of view, it was this is a game that he has had circled on his calendar for a long time. He didn't like how things were handled. And in the article, he goes on to say that, you know, there's some extra motivation coming into MSG tonight to try and beat the Rangers. So it's going to be a good game. The Rangers should win this game. The Sharks are not a very good team. The Rangers have to put their best foot forward and win this game, especially because there's extra motivation on the other side. Goodrow wants to win this game, and I'm sure his teammates are going to get up for him for this game. So the Rangers are going to have to be ready, and they've been picking up wins here and there, but their game has not been sustainable. They have to clean it up. So I'm interested to see exactly how they're going to handle that tonight, and it's going to be an interesting game at Madison Square Garden. But let me know in the comments what you think of Victor Mancini being sent down. I don't think there's too much to be made of, you know, Chad Ruhwedel coming back up to the team. I'm not sure he's going to get into the lineup too much. I think it was just more of a move to get Victor Mancini back into games with the AHL Hartford Wolfpack, and I'm sure we'll see him back with the team soon. If there's an injury or anything like that, I'm sure they're going to want to give him more time in the NHL. But let me know what you think about that and the interesting comments by Barclay Goodrow. And hopefully the Rangers pick up a big win tonight at home. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.